So Chicken Hut opened in Masvingo a couple of days ago, and I was so excited because finally I get to taste it. Every time I'd go to Harare or I'd go to Gweru, I would always tell myself that I'm going to pass through Chicken Hut and I'm going to buy myself some. But for some reason, it never came to pass. So when they came the sites, the first thing that I did, I went and I got a meal there, and it was just so delicious. I really enjoyed it, and it got me thinking. It got me thinking of three things. The first thing was the video that I previously did about how small restaurants, locally owned restaurants, are not really growing to be big chain restaurants. Then I thought of Chicken Hut, and from the information that I got, hard as it was to get information, it's really difficult to get information on Zimbabwean companies for some reason. So for the information that I got is it's a locally owned company that started restaurant touring or restaurant having restaurants in 1996. But at the same time, when I was having that thought, I realized that if they started in 96, why did they take it so long for them to get to Masvingo? I don't know what the reason it could be there. It could be an interesting story, but I'm not sure why they took so long to come to Masvingo. Then the second thing that I thought of was their positioning. Where they decided to put the outlet is somewhere that's inside the city, and it's not somewhere you usually see fast food restaurants, which would be along major routes, either in or out of the city. This one's more in the city, and probably they're targeting the inhabitants of the city more than the ones who are actually crossing out of the city or going into the city. So, in that, having that in mind, thinking of the residents that are in Masvingo, it's not that much of a big CBD, and people who are anywhere close to middle income are really few. It probably could be 10 to 15% people who are middle income, and the rest are just lower income. So, having that in mind, it got me really thinking about their positioning and whether they would be able to really compete in the market. I hope and I pray that they do, having their background in social media. I think they'll be able to do it. Then the third thing that I thought of was the space that's there. If you go around most local restaurants like Chicken Inn, especially Chicken Inn, you would find that there is no space to sit in there anymore. For some reason, I think when they originally put the tables the way they are, it was because of COVID, but for some reason they haven't changed the setup. The setup is still the same, so there's absolutely nowhere to sit. So I can see people actually leaving those places and going to some, trying to look for an alternative. But unfortunately, also the Chicken Hut space is really small, so I'm not sure also what they were going for there. Probably they're going for more takeout than sitting. I don't know. But yeah, it's a really good development, and I'm really glad that Chicken Hut is in Masvingo. Been waiting for such a long time. So Chicken Hut opened in Masvingo a couple of days ago, and I was so excited because finally I get to taste it. Every time I'd go to Harare or I'd go to Gweru, I would always tell myself that I'm going to pass through Chicken Hut and I'm going to buy myself some. But for some reason, it never came to pass. So when they came the sites, the first thing that I did, I went and I got a meal there, and it